Welcome to another video on the God in the Heart channel. May this message transform your life. May God always bless you and never lose faith in God, that the miracle will happen. Do you want to live in peace? Advice if you want to live in peace. Don't love anyone. See that from the moment you love. You will live what Father Zinho calls peace, restless. What is different? I have some, but I am always restless because love is never a guarantee. We have to earn it every day. When we love, we are afraid that the other will leave. When we love, we are afraid that the other will die. Isn't that right? All of this is part of love. We love like this with precariousness, and it is so beautiful. Our lives become much more beautiful when we love. Not when we are rich. Not when we earn money. No, it's when we become famous. No. Our lives really become beautiful without demagogy, my people. I live among very famous people. I live among very poor people and very simple people too. My ministry has taken me to every social class you can imagine. I've met all kinds of people. I know the emptiness that fame brings to a person's heart. I know the emptiness. It's what excess money brings to a person's life. And I can say without fear of being wrong that the happiest people I've met in my life were the poorest, the simplest, who weren't living with the restrictions of love. So there's no problem in working to achieve your dreams honestly. Earning your own money is a sin. No, Jesus did not condemn. Work, money, Jesus, when mine is usury. Because when what you have becomes yours. Sometimes, when we need to ask about our things, is it me who has them? It was she who has me. The only thing that is worth it in life is you. If one day you need to lose someone you love, you will understand that money is useless at this time. Nothing. Money will never buy a bad encounter. With someone who has already left this life, will your money never bring a child back? No matter how wealthy you are, no matter how famous and powerful you are, you will never have another minute. Because what can your money buy? To find your mother again, she left. And what about the woman now? And nothing can be richer than that. Sometimes we think that the most expensive square meter in the world is there in Paris. New York, Tokyo, nothing. The most expensive square meter in the world is the one that puts you next to the people who are special to you. You, the most expensive square meter in the world. Sometimes. Even that sofa, Zinho, that's a still one that I think we have at home. That fits everyone on it. If one day you want to hear the sound of happiness, try listening. The heartbeat of the one you love. That's the sound of happiness. And if that sound stops, your life becomes sad. What's that? Therein lies your greatest wealth. Sometimes we think that wealth is the money it gives us, right? The greatest wealth you can have in life is what your heart is capable of conquering. Do you know why, my people? Everything that money can give us only makes sense if there is love. Who do we share this with? Is this luxury? It's when you look around and discover that you have a person you can trust. There's nothing more luxurious than having true love in your life. We work and buy the rest. But if we lack love, there's nothing left of us. Because love, no matter how beautiful it is, my people, if we don't cultivate it every day, does it die? Does it die? It's not without reason that the greatest human specialty that brings us closer to God is love. You can be sure of that. Nothing makes you more Christian than when you love. Prayer is to teach us to love. Fasting is to teach us to love. Don't think that God is there waiting for the time of your fast to count it and mark it in his notebook. Don't think that God is watching how many times you went to Mass to mark it in his notebook, right? God is not an accountant or a mathematician. The number? Times you go to Mass. The number of prayers you say every day. It's to soften your heart so that you can learn to forgive. Is it so that you can learn to ask for forgiveness? Every ritual of Christian life has a single objective, to teach us to love. Because when we love as Jesus asked us to, without interest, without wanting anything in return, we are close to the divine essence. Because the part of God that is in us, it teaches us to love. And when I love, God is present here. Isn't that how the priest speaks? What do you answer when he says, "The Lord be with you"? He is among us when we are at war. He is among us when we are focused. He was among us when we love. And when we do good, And that is why love needs to be cultivated daily, as an exercise in conversion. Beautiful thing, my people, nothing can enrich us more than us looking to the side. Nothing can enrich us more than looking to the side and recognizing that life has given us people who love us. That love is the most evolved thing in the human condition. When we learn to love, because this is a human possibility, but it is no guarantee that we will learn. That we will learn. To love is a learning experience. It requires you to give up your interests. It requires you to be able to give yourself to someone, anyone, to love in the Christian sense that Jesus asks of us. It requires a lot of spiritual evolution. We need to walk many paths from within, to overcome our selfishness, to look into our history, because this is an interesting fact. The Christian rule is for all of us, but if we consider that each of us had a different upbringing, a different human formation, the people who educated us, even with all their good intentions, also hurt us. And those who loved us also hurt us. And it's not because they wanted to hurt. It's because love is just like that. Love is also imperfect. Human love is imperfect. As much as a mother wants to love her child perfectly, she won't be able to. She will need to overcome many paths of her own, and then his children. So it is very likely that all of us here, although we have the same desire to love as Jesus loved, the ease and difficulties that each one has to reach this free and disinterested love are different paths. It will depend a lot on your emotional wounds. If you were loved right, generally, when we were not loved right, we will also grow up with difficulty loving the right way. This is how God enters our story to help fix it. Because if I am tamed by my selfishness, I will not be able to love anyone. I will say that it is love, but all the time I will be articulating the other person based on my interests. It may seem like love, but it is not. It is because I am not at all interested in the well-being of the other person. I am only interested in what he can do for me. And there are people who spend their entire lives like this, without discovering the gratuitousness of love. To love is to want a lot of evolution. Sometimes we can even get confused. We have a feeling of possession for the other and call it love. Or sometimes we even have the same very object-oriented relationship. The other is useful to me for something. So I pretend that this is love? No. I'm talking about that free love that you experienced when you brought your child into the world. Yes, my lady, I'm sorry to inform you that you didn't know love when you fell in love with your husband. Did you know true love when you brought a child into the world? Husband, you don't even need to be upset, because you also thought you knew love when you met your wife. Wasn't it when you saw the face of your first child? Did you discover it there? Because this is a person you had never seen in your life, and he already brings you a huge expense. He will completely take away your peace. When a child is born, you understand the beautiful dimension of the restlessness that is love. Those who love do not live in peace. There is no way you can be a loving person and live in peace. Do not have. You start to love, and the peace is over. In the first years of life, you don't sleep because that child howls at night, or because he is hungry, or because he peed or pooped, because he has colic, or because he is teething. Later you don't sleep because you don't know where you are. So, for the rest of your life, you'll never sleep properly again. So you understood that loving is taking a loss. And what do you gain? What you lose when you love? No one needs to know. Do you know why? That's when we become essentially human. In philosophy, we have 11 very interesting rules. That we are born individuals. Every being that is born is an individual, and the word individual is suggestive. An individual is that which does not divide, and we do not divide in the early stages of life. It's not because we don't want to. Division requires mental exercise, choice, as Aristotle said. I can only choose when I am free to choose. So, before cerebral maturity, there is no conscious love. There is incentive love. Just like your dog likes you. But your dog, he is driven by his instinct. Human love, no. Human love is a choice. You look at that man and think, he's going to be mine, battle, and you fight the same thing. You look at that mercy, that woman I wanted in my life, and there you fight. It's rational and conquers. Then love changes. It establishes phases, right? Because everything in life passes. Love changes phases. And marriages like that, there are people who can't do charity in silence, for example. They have to brag about it. They have to put it on social media. They have to tell everyone. It's strange, because it gives the impression that if others aren't watching, we'll never be charitable. I'm charitable because I discovered the value of charity. Or am I charitable to appear on social media as a good person and gain admirers for it? Love is what fulfills us. Isn't it what others applaud us for? It's what you live in the silence of your own life. Heart, understanding God's love in our lives. We just need to pay attention to a mother's love for her child. When a child is born, she has nothing, absolutely nothing to offer. On the contrary, are they just demands? A child is a well of need. A child is incapable of loving someone. She is incapable of being supportive. Not because she doesn't want to. It's because solidarity and love are rational attitudes of choice. Aristotle already said this before Jesus. That dual needs to be free. I need to choose to love. Loving is a rational attitude too. Why did I choose? When you brought a child into the world, that child was incapable of offering anything because she was not biologically mature for fraternity, for solidarity. So, even if you were hungry, tired, she would cry all night long. Until you satisfied her hunger or cold, her thirst, she would not give you peace. So, in the first years of a child's life, the parents, with pure sacrifice, do you know how many nights you spent awake? So that your children could get where they are. But do you demand this from them? No. Sometimes there are mothers who demand it. It is rare to find a woman with a bill in her hands all the time. There were so many sleepless nights so that you could be here today. Then, in the first stages of life, the child does not let you sleep because you need to take care of him. Then later, in the other stage of life, he does not let you sleep because you never know where he is. Then do you understand? Pure restlessness. Now I ask you, would you live without this loss? Die wealth, my people. It's having the opportunity to love and be loved every day. That's what makes life worth living. Are you going to say, my people, that there's no way for us to get closer to God without first having known human love? There's no way, because when I feel humanly loved by someone, that I understand the meaning of the verb to love, even if love is hurt by sin. When it's lived with good intentions, it edifies. Yes, our parents didn't take any course. For love, they sell it. That's why many of us have wounds that were caused by them, that in an attempt to love us, they often hurt us. It's part of life. Me too, Cyril, huh? I'm also hurt when I'm loved. It's part of my process here. When I want to heal myself as a person, the light of the sacred, the years that I lived, and what were the benefits that they brought me? What were the wounds that they left me? Without love for others. There may even be religion. The easiest thing there is, it's about being religious. Without love for others, can there be religion? But God is not there. God is only there. Where does charity happen? The gospel is only alive. Where there is an inner disposition to love as Jesus asked, a love without reward, a love without a showcase. How did Saint Dulce survive? Dulce knew how to do it well. Dulce brought out the Christ that lives there. And one day she discovered it. Because in the most difficult love, the one that is no return, we become great. To love those who do not deserve to be loved, my people. To feel compassion for those who do not give us a reason to be loved. She did not ask where they came from. She did not ask what religion they had. She did not want to know about that person's past. Because those who love only see the present. How did Jesus see the present of each person who stood before him? Those who like the past, I usually say the devil. He is the one who stands on the corners of life, accusing us for what we did or did not do. Do you too? When you love someone, if you insist if you stay stuck in the past, you will have a lot of difficulty moving forward. Because forgiveness is precisely an inner movement that dilutes the past. Not in the sense that we haven't learned from it. No, we learn. But it is in the sense of giving the other the opportunity to be new again. And there I was saying, you are a factory of love. If you evolve, if you heal from your wounds, because sometimes what makes it difficult for you to love and be loved is a solution. Your wounds, when you convert existentially, when your religion is able to affect your psychology, your psyche, and you understand that evolving spiritually is also evolving emotionally, it is the same thing. You begin to have an ease in loving and being loved. And then you surround yourself with special friends. There's nothing better, my people. Friendship is the best love we can experience. Look, what do you want if you're not what money can buy? What enriches you is what your affection conquers. There's nothing more precious in this life than realizing that your Christianity worked. I've been saying this a lot, my people. I don't have a ruler to measure how much of a Christian I am. I have no way of measuring how much of a Christian you can be. The Christian, but there is an indicator that helps us know. It's just you looking around and realizing if you built true loves. Christianity worked for us. When we learned to love, Christianity really happened in our hearts. And when did we understand? That love happened, that we receive and offer. It is the greatest wealth that we can have in life. That is what I wish for you. May your Christianity bring many loves by your side. May you be able to love people as if there were no tomorrow, as the poet said. There is no point in you going into the church 1,000 times. There is no point in you going to Mass every day. There's no point in going to church every day if your religion doesn't teach you how to love. Love. So don't divorce the one you love, but also have the courage to push away the one who isn't capable of respecting the value you have. I'm partial to me, but tell me this, Lord Jesus. Grant me the grace of being born again. Drive out of my heart all hatred, all hurt. It's all resentment. I want it, Lord. I want to love myself more. Will you have more respect for me? And from my self-love, be able to drive out of my life everything that is contrary to my happiness, everything that takes me away from you. I want it, Lord. I want to love those who are with me. I want to be faithful to my projects. And for that, Jesus, I proclaim the victory of your life over mine and declare, because I'm being born again, that this, until the first minute of my new life, I understood the war ones.